perfect day for treasure hunting. Not the scouring dusty antique shops for hidden gems. My name is Amrita, and I've always been drawn to things with a past, things that whisper stories of bygone eras. That's how I found it, tucked away in the darkest corner of a shop called Yesterday's Whispers. It was a mirror, and it was breathtaking. The frame was ornate, carved from a dark, almost black wood, with intricate vines and roses twisting around its edges. The glass itself wasn't perfect. It had a smoky, almost ethereal quality, as if it had absorbed a century of being here for ages. No one's ever shown an interest, he rasped. $10 and it's yours. $10. It felt like I was robbing him. I couldn't get the money out of my wallet fast enough. Back home, I hung the mirror in my bedroom, right opposite my bed. It transformed the room, adding a touch of Gothic elegance. I spent a good hour just admiring it, tracing the carvings with my finger. It felt cool to the touch, colder than it should have been. That night, as I was getting ready for bed, I glanced at my reflection and froze. For a split second, I saw something else standing behind me, a woman. She was tall and slender, dressed in what looked like a vintage black gown. Her hair was piled high on her head, and her face was pale, almost translucent. I blinked, and she was gone. My heart was pounding. It's just my imagination, I whispered to my empty room. Stress from work. I tried to laugh it off, but a shiver ran down my spine. I turned my back to the mirror and climbed into bed, pulling the covers up to my chin. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every time I dared to peek, the mirror just showed the familiar reflection of my room, quiet and still. The next few days were a blur of unease. Strange things started happening. Objects in my room would move. I'd leave my favorite book on the nightstand, only to find it on the floor later. My keys, which I always hung by the door, would turn up in the bathroom, rustling of leaves or the sigh of the wind. I'd hear them when the house was silent, a soft feminine voice murmuring words I couldn't quite make out. One evening, while I was brushing my teeth, I heard it clearly for the first time. So pretty, it whispered from behind me. I spun around, toothbrush dropping from my hand and clattering into the sink. The bathroom was empty. But when I looked into the regular bathroom mirror, my eyes darted to the reflection of my bedroom doorway. And in the reflection, standing in my room, was the woman from the antique mirror. This time, I got a better look at her. She wasn't just pale. She was sorrowful. Her dark eyes held a profound sadness, and her lips were curved into a faint, melancholic smile. She wasn't threatening, just there, watching. I slammed the bathroom door shut, my back pressed against the wood, my breath coming in ragged gasps. This wasn't my imagination. This was real. Driven by a mix of terror and a strange sort of curiosity, I started researching the mirror. The shopkeeper was my first stop. He seemed reluctant to talk, but I was persistent. Finally, he sighed and told me the story. The mirror had belonged to a woman named Ilara, a socialite from the 1920s who was famed for her beauty. She was obsessed with her appearance, spending hours staring at her own reflection in that very mirror. One day, she simply vanished from her locked mansion. No one ever saw her again. His words chilled me to the bone. Vanity. The woman wasn't just sad, she was envious. I realized with a jolt that she always appeared when I was looking at myself, when I was brushing my hair or trying on a new outfit. She wasn't just watching me, she was watching my reflection. That night, I decided to confront her. It was a stupid, reckless idea born of fear and sleepless nights. I stood before the mirror, my heart hammering against my ribs. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice trembling. "What do you want?" For a long moment, there was only silence. Then, my reflection flickered. It wasn't my face looking back at me anymore. It was Ilara's. Her sad eyes met mine, and her lips moved, but the voice came from the air around me. "I was beautiful," she whispered, her voice filled with a hollow longing. "Just like you, but beauty fades. The mirror, it preserves it forever." Her image in the glass grew clearer, more solid. Behind her, my own reflection began to fade. Panic seized me. "What are you doing?" I cried out. Ilara's reflection smiled, but it was a cold, predatory smile now. The sadness in her eyes was replaced with a triumphant glint. "We all want to be beautiful forever, don't we?" she cooed. The mirror requires a trade, a fresh reflection to take the place of the old one. My time is over. It's your turn now. I tried to step back, to run, but my feet felt like they were glued to the floor. A powerful unseen force was pulling me forward toward the cold surface of the glass. I reached out, my hands pressing against the mirror, trying to push myself away, but it was like pushing against water. My fingers sank into the glass, which rippled around them. A freezing cold spread up my arms, numbing me. I could feel myself being pulled in, my very essence being drawn into the smoky depths of the haunted glass. My room began to warp and distort from my new perspective. The woman, Ilara, was no longer just a reflection. She was stepping out. She was solidifying in my place, a triumphant, cruel smirk on her beautiful face as my world dissolved into a silver two-dimensional prison. I screamed. She ran it through her long, dark hair, admiring herself in the mirror, admiring herself through my eyes. The last thing I saw before my consciousness faded into the silvered abyss was my own room, my own life, being lived by someone else. And in the mirror where I used to stand, a new, faint and sorrowful figure began to take shape, trapped forever. A new ghost, waiting for the next person to be captivated by the beauty of the haunted mirror. My reflection was now just a whisper in yesterday's whispers, and Ilara